Hi, my name's Anita Keach, and I started the page Stay in Love with Your Child Addict or Your Addict Child. And that was a couple months ago, and I've posted, I think, two things. I've been in analysis paralysis and waiting because I felt like I needed to share my story, but I didn't know how to begin. And I didn't know how to summarize what is, as of now, an 11-year journey, and I'm still in it. As you know, it doesn't really end. You just keep moving through the journey with your kids as they go through life. So here goes. I'm going to try to share my story, and then hopefully I can get you guys to share yours, and we can start a conversation, start helping people. I learned a lot. I've learned so much through this process, and it's going to be a journey of my own to share what I've learned that will hopefully help some other people as they're in pain and looking for answers to questions they have about how they can help their child or help themselves through this journey that there's no necessity. You don't know how long it's going to last. But I started out, in high school and college. I never drank or smoked or partied, and I felt like if we just taught our kids our beliefs and taught them about the dangers and risks, that they would just buy into our beliefs and we wouldn't have any of these things to deal with in our family. And this turned out to be a very, very naive belief, to say the least. I can remember the day that my life changed and I woke up as a parent to the realities of kids having free agency and their free will, and they're going to choose what they're going to choose regardless of what you've taught them. It was Labor Day 2007 when a parent called me and let me know that my daughter and her daughter had been driving around smoking marijuana. I thanked her, and then I asked my daughter about it, and she had a great story that made complete sense, and I thought I had complete trust with this child. I would have bet my life that I could trust my child, and her story made sense. But then the hair was just down the back of my neck, and I just felt like I needed to dig a little further, so I told my husband, hey, we need to get to the bottom of this and see what's really might be going on. And so we got the two girls together and both sets of parents in the same room, and the girls' stories would not match up. They were complete opposites, and they were glaring at each other and really angry. Something was just wrong. And we left, and I says, okay, I'm still firmly believing in my daughter. We're going to get vindication. We're going to go get a drug test right now and prove that she's lying and that you're telling the truth. And my daughter froze in the garage. I still remember where she was standing, and said, we don't need to go. And I'm still so naive. I'm like, why? My eyes are just so, I'm so in the dark at this point still. She goes, because I did it. And she got really upset. She thought we were going to hate her, disown her, didn't know what, but it became a heated conversation, and that was the beginning. I was prompted to ask her if she'd been having sex as well, and she had. It was a miracle that she did not get pregnant in that past year. All of this was so upsetting to me, I could barely speak about it. I laugh now compared to what we've been through, because we've been through so much that seems small compared to other experiences. That was the beginning of just having my eyes opened. Well, we swift her off. She had a scholarship, was a good student, held a job down, went to seminary, went to class, never missed anything. So she did a really good job of keeping us in the dark and keeping us thinking that everything was okay. But she had been smoking marijuana for over a year, and it'd become an everyday thing, and we thought the best thing to do was She had enough credits to graduate early and send her down to Snow College on a scholarship, on an academic scholarship, to get her out of here. Maybe she'll meet some friends and get interested in school and just get her out of our city. Well, that didn't work. She just started partying down there. We started selling marijuana. We heard all kinds of things. Came home really sick. After that first semester, bombed her classes, needed her tonsils out. It ran her health down. She got her tonsils out that week and wanted to go to a party, and couldn't obey the house rules, and so we ended up kicking her out. Said, you want to obey your own rules, just go find your own place to live. So at age 18, after her first semester in college, she left, went to live with her boyfriend. It became a series of boyfriends and new drugs and new experiences for us to deal with over the next 10 years. And there was jail. There was picking her up in California, where she almost had to go to the LA County Jail, and a series of miracles kept her from that. She was court ordered to go to rehab, so she visited her first inpatient rehab, was in that rehab for 90 days. Met a guy in rehab, which derailed her in her intensive outpatient after rehab. Just relapse. Met another guy, heavier drugs. Went to California with him. Wait, we'd already picked her up from California. Anyways, I'm gonna have to write this all down. Actually started a book, but it's hard to keep things straight when you're just speaking from the heart. But a series of inpatient rehabs, some jail experiences, wondering, never really knowing where she was. She ended up couch surfing and not really living in places, not really holding jobs eventually. Years of just the unknown, waiting for that call. She ended up going down to the block in Salt Lake City and spending a lot of time there. She had a place to be, but she didn't stay at her home much. She was down where it was like a shopping market for drugs. You could buy or sell anything there. And she was selling for Honduras drug dealer. I actually went down there. I'll probably share that as a separate experience, and visited her and met her drug dealer, met some of her friends, watched her boyfriend and her sell drugs and use. I just wanted to see what her life was like and see what the attraction was and get to know what she was going through and just be with her. That was a couple of summers ago, 2016, I believe. Yeah, June of 2016. And shortly after that, she began living in her car for that winter. After that, her car got impounded and she was on foot. They were on foot, her and her boyfriend, homeless. They also had a reward out for the two of them because her boyfriend stole some money from a drug dealer, and so it wasn't safe for them to be near the block or near the homeless shelter. So they were more or less sort of all around Salt Lake, panhandling and just sleeping wherever they could. That was from March to September of being on foot homeless. And then in September, it got really cold. I don't remember, September of 2017, it got cold and started raining. It was a really cold September, and I started worrying about, geez, I think maybe I should buy him a ticket to Arizona, and at least they could go be somewhere homeless, warmer. I mean, I just was trying to think of anything I could do to keep her alive a little longer. I called her and said, hey, it's getting really cold. What are you going to do about winter? Because she didn't have her car to live in. She didn't answer. She always would answer in some way within a day or two. Didn't answer, and come to find out they'd been arrested. They had got in a car to sleep in and got caught in the car, and so they were in jail for stealing a car. She couldn't get out, nobody would bail her out. Finally called me and said, I'm I'm ready. Now, we had tried several times to bring her home and sober her up and get her sober and get her help. She'd already been through 2 inpatients and 3 intensive outpatient programs, and there was a period of about 9 months where she was sober and doing well, somewhere in there, in the middle of all this. But she said she was ready. Finally, I could feel it in her heart. She was ready. So she came home, picked her up from jail, her and her boyfriend, actually, to help both of them. That was another experience I'll share. But I knew she would not leave him. She had this codependency going on. The only way to get her in the home to start getting sober was if I let both of them, if we let both of them. So we did. And it went really well for a couple months until he decided he wasn't quite ready and he left. And I thought she might leave with him, but she didn't. She stayed. And she's just reached a year's sobriety. On December 2nd, 2018 was her 1-year anniversary. And it's still a journey every day. It's been a great year, making up for lost time, being with her, seeing the old Ashlee that I know and love, seeing her personality, her smart personality, her funny, witty, pleasant to be around. Like, the person that I know and love is still there, and it's been great to be with her. In a nutshell, that's our story. I've got a lot more to share about what I learned along the way, and I would just invite you to share your stories, whether they be video or writing a paragraph about your story. There isn't any drugs she didn't try. At the end, it was crack and heroin were the drugs of choice, and it was interesting learning about that. And well, I'll share some pictures and I'll share a lot as we go forward. I want to cut this off and just say we're still in the journey, taking it one day at a time, working through the speed bumps. It's never over, but I try to just stay in today. And I invite you to share your stories, and I'm going to share how I stayed in love with this kid as we go. It wasn't an everyday. There were some days where it was harder than others, but overall, she had a place. She knew she had a place to come home to when she was ready, and by maintaining that relationship, I think she is part of why she's sober today. Is that she knew when she was ready, she had some open arms from her parents and family to come home to be done, come home and get the support she needed. So I think that's my biggest success in all of this, is maintaining that relationship. And it took a lot of work on my end, honestly, with myself, because there were some days I wanted to just check out and write her off and just have nothing to do with knowing what was going on. It would have been less painful than being and knowing what she was going through. But it's not what I chose to do. And looking back now, I'm glad that I did what I did. Anyways, signing off. Hopefully more to come of moments that I can teach you and share with you that hopefully will help you. Till next time.